Hey guys, it's Mikayla and welcome to another bar prep video. Today we are going to be talking about how to set up your ideal study schedule to optimize your studying for the bar exam. We're also going to go through my individual study schedules and what I did when I was studying for this exam, and I'll have it pop up on the screen so we can go through it together. The advice in this video is also going to be helpful for whether you're just studying full-time or whether you're studying and working. And at the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a better idea on what direction to take your studying in once you maybe complete your course or if you are self-studying. If you missed my last video, I gave 5 tips on what really helped me pass the bar when I took it. And in that video, I go into a little bit more detail on some of the things I'm gonna touch on today. So if you haven't seen that video yet, I highly recommend you watch that after this one. And guys, make sure you're subscribed to my channel because I'm going to be doing a lot more videos like this. I really wanna help you guys out and give you as much value as I can. So make sure you hit the red button and click the bell so you're notified of when I post those videos. And I have a really exciting announcement coming in next week's video, so you're going to want to be subscribed so you don't miss out. And with that, let's get into the video. When you're planning your bar prep schedule, I want you to keep 3 things in mind. The 3 S's I like to call them: sleeping, studying, and sanity. Prioritizing these 3 things allowed me to stay on track and stay focused, and really allowed me to make everything as efficient as possible. You also want to keep in mind, when do you have the most energy during the day? Are you a morning person? Are you an afternoon person? Are you a night person? If you know you have the most energy in the afternoon, then maybe waking up at 6 a.m. and studying immediately upon waking is not the best thing for you. But if you know that as the day progresses, your energy levels drop, then maybe do your best studying and your hardest studying in the morning so that as the evening comes, it's a little bit less on you, it's a little less draining. I am not a morning person. I hate the mornings, I hate waking up early. But I also knew that I had to get some stuff done in the morning so I could have a full day of studying. So what I did, and I'll show you this as we go through my schedule, is the morning time was mostly light review for me. I was mostly reviewing what I did the day before and reinforcing those rules before adding any new additional information to my brain. All of that tended to happen in the afternoon or the evening. So keep in mind when you get your best work done when you're planning your study schedule. Now, if you're doing a bar prep course, at least the one that I did and most of them that I know, they do have a schedule for you pretty much leading up into the bar exam, I'd say. However, the year I took the bar exam in 2020, the bar got pushed 3 times. And eventually the study schedule that my bar prep company had set up for me ended. So I had to get together my own schedule to make sure that I stayed on track. So this can be helpful if you're self-studying and you don't have a bar prep schedule. This can also be helpful for that week or 2 period of time after your bar prep courses end, when you're kind of just waiting for the bar to happen and you're trying to maintain and retain all of the information you've learned. And this can also help in general if you want to make a schedule that's just more tailored to you. So I'm going to go ahead and insert my study schedule that I actually used when I was studying for the bar exam onto the screen, and we'll go through it together. So the first schedule we're going to go through is the schedule that I had while I was only studying for the bar. Studying for the bar was my full-time job. I was not working. I was literally waking up, studying, and going to sleep. Now, elaborating a little bit on the sleeping, studying, sanity mantra that I mentioned earlier. You want to make sure you're getting enough sleep because memory retention and all of that stuff where your brain recovers happens while you're sleeping. If you're not sleeping, you're not going to be memorizing and retaining as much information. That's very important. The studying, self-explanatory. You have to study. We all had to. You just got to do it. Now, the sanity part is something I think a lot of people tend to forget about. If you're studying the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep and you don't give yourself a little bit of a break to have some fun or relax or anything, that's going to take a toll on your mental health. And as much as we like to pretend like it doesn't matter, mental health plays a very large role in getting through these few months of studying and making it to the end for game day. So make sure you're taking care of all 3. Now let's talk about how I did that. I started my morning every day with something I knew I would enjoy. When I started studying, Animal Crossing New Horizons for the Nintendo Switch had just come out very recently. I was still very obsessed with that game. I still am, but I was playing that a lot. And I knew I still wanted to get a little bit of it in, and I thought starting my day with that would start it off on a positive note. So every morning I woke up at 8:30 and I just played that for 30 minutes. It got my day started on a happy note before I had to get into the hard stuff. So when 9 o'clock rolled around, that's when I had my first meal. I was drinking water, just hydrating and getting ready for the day. When 9:30 came, bar prep time. So from 9:30 to 10:30, I was mostly reviewing what I had worked on the previous day. And I'll do another video going into a little more detail on what exactly I was reviewing, but for now, just know I was reviewing what I had done the day before. Once 10:30 hit, I did a little bit of multiple choice. So for about 30 minutes, I usually would do a multiple choice question set on one of the subjects or multiple. Then I took a break. I had very frequent breaks in here because I knew that doing that would allow me to keep going at maximum capacity instead of just studying for 7 hours straight with no rest. So I took a break, and after my break, around 11:30, I would come back and finish the multiple choice for that day. So I would do that from 11:30 to 1, totaling about 2 hours or so of just multiple choice questions. Then around 1 o'clock, I would take another break and eat my lunch. This break was a little bit longer, usually around an hour, just to, separate the multiple choice part of the day from the essay part of the day. After my lunch around 2 o'clock, I would do essay prep. I would do that for about an hour and a half, sometimes longer. It just completely depended on what I needed for that day. Again, tailor it to what you need to do. Now, as you can see, this day I did stop around 3:30 to meal prep. And I thought it was important to show that to you guys because not every day is going to be perfect and you're never going to have anything to do. Maybe you need to go get your car fixed. Maybe you need to pick your kid up from the babysitter. I don't know. But that's when I took a little break to do my real life things that I needed to do. So I did that for about an hour and a half. I ate another meal around 5 p.m. and 5:30, I was back to studying. So at this point in my day, I had done some multiple choice questions, I had done an essay or two, and it was review time. Now the review, I'm not going to sit here and say it's more important than doing the actual questions and essays because that would be a little misleading, but the review is so crucial, at least it was for me. That's when I actually did the most learning. So I would go back through my multiple choice. As you can see, I set about 2 hours of time to do that, and every single question that I got right, I would still read all of the rationales for the wrong answers and why those were wrong, because if you don't know why you got it right, it doesn't really matter that you got it right. And then for the ones I got wrong, I would really focus in on why I got that wrong, type that into a completely separate document. Again, I can go into that a little bit more in detail later, but basically I was reviewing the multiple choice. I was drilling in why I got what I got right, and why I got what I got wrong. Then around 7:30, I took another break. And from 8 to 9:30-ish, I was reviewing the essay. So same thing, I was reviewing the rules that I had missed, the rules that I had written down correctly, and just drilling that in so I can make sure I was actually learning and not just doing. Then around 9:30, 10 on some nights, it was pretty much a hard stop for me. At that point, I had been working for about 8 hours. 8 hours of studying had been completed. So I was done for the night. That's when I had my last meal of the day around 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I would give myself an hour of time to relax, whatever that meant. You can go to the gym, you can watch some TV with your spouse, whatever, just some relaxing time. And then 11 o'clock, I would typically shower, get ready for bed. I would wind down, watch some ASMR, whatever I need to do to get my brain to relax, maybe read a book. And then around midnight, I would go to sleep, wake up, and do it all again the next day. So that was what my study schedule looked like for the days that I was not working. Luckily, I was in a position where I did not have to work while studying for the bar exam until the bar exam got pushed to October. At that point, I needed to start my job. I had planned to start my job in August, and I needed to start. So now we're gonna go through my schedule when I was working and studying. So for those of you that have jobs and kids and other responsibilities, this might be able to help you out a little bit more. So around 7 a.m. I was waking up, and I have walk on here, but that was like any form of exercise if I was exercising at all. I had about 30 minutes to just kind of stretch, work out, do whatever I was doing. Then from 7:30 to 8 is when I would come back, shower, and get ready to go to work. At 8 a.m. I would have my first meal. That would have about 30 minutes. I would drive to work and be there around 9. I worked from 9 to 3. So I was working 6-hour days while I was studying. Technically part-time, but of course a big chunk of my day was gone for working, so I knew that the nighttime I kind of had to focus on bar prep. So as you can see, I would leave from work around 3 p.m. I would drive home, I would eat another meal, my second meal I ate at work, and once 4 p.m. hit, it was bar prep time. So by that time I had eaten, I was home, I was refreshed, I was ready to go for bar prep. Now this was a little later on, and I didn't necessarily always dissect out what I was doing at what time. At this point, I had been studying for the bar for 3 full months, maybe longer, and I was just straight reviewing at that point. So I knew what I needed to do, and that's why I keep emphasizing the importance of tailoring your schedule to you. If I needed to work on a certain subject that day, I focused on that subject. If I wanted to do essays, I did that. So regardless of what I was doing, I was bar prepping from 4 to 7. It was only 3 hours a day, but over a 5-day work week, that was 15 hours of studying. And that was not including the weekends when I would obviously have some more time. So within those 3 hours, I would get as much studying as I could. And at that point, I had been going all day. I had worked, I had studied, I needed some time to relax. So I usually stopped around 7 p.m. when I would, do everything I mentioned earlier, take a bath, read your book, journal, whatever you want to do. I would eat again, and then once 9:30 hit, I would wind down, read a book in my case, watch some ASMR if I needed to calm my brain. And at this point, I was going to sleep around 10:30 because I did have a longer day that had a little bit more involved. So that is what I did while studying for the bar. Again, I have a couple more schedules of how things progressed as time went on because like I said, I started studying in May. The bar exam did not happen until October. So that was a very long period of time. A lot of changes were made throughout that time. And I really want to emphasize that you guys have to be open to that. You have to be adaptable to changing your study schedule as time goes on. In the beginning of your studying, you're going to be doing more lectures. It's going to be a lot more time watching videos, whereas toward the end of your studying, it's going to be a lot more reviewing and actually doing questions and essays. So as the time progresses, your schedule will change and you have to be a little bit more adaptable to adhere to that. So with that being said, those are the schedules that I used when I was studying for the bar exam, and that's what worked for me. So hopefully you guys can take those and not follow them exactly, but apply them to your study schedules to give you a little bit more of a guideline and some structure in how you can plan what's best for you. As you guys are planning out your study schedule, remember the mantra: sleeping, studying, sanity. You guys saw as I just took you through my schedules that I had a lot of breaks in there. I had time scheduled in for doing things that I loved, and I had a lot of time at the end before I went to bed to relax, recoup, and regenerate before the next day of studying. Your mental health is so important when you guys are studying for this bar exam, so make sure you don't neglect that. It's very easy to do, but please try to prioritize that because that's what's gonna keep the engine running. So if you guys like this video or found it to be valuable, give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate that. And comment down below any bar prep questions you guys have, and I'll be sure to touch on them in a future video. Again, make sure you are subscribed for next week's announcement. And with that being said, good luck. You guys got this. I will see you next week, and happy studying.